Paul Cooke, we've seen your 21-man squad ahead of Barrow on Sunday. What can you tell us about the squad? Obviously, Leon Ruin coming in on dual red from Hull KR.
Yeah, Brad Day picked up a knock last week. So Brad's had an injection in his shoulder, which will see him miss this weekend and be back in full training next weekend. So we managed to get Leon in. We're really grateful to Hull KR as always, who's given us a play and helped us out massively. He's a big boy. He's a specimen. He's bigger than I thought he was, to be fair. Trained really well on Thursday as we entered Captain's Run Friday.
Connor Wynn's been named in the team.
Yeah.
Perhaps a surprise to a lot of the fans who were at York. How is Connor, first of all?
Yeah, he was sore after the game. He didn't come back on. It was a nasty knock he's got. So we're still going to assess him and see where he's at. Obviously, we've got other players that can fill in them positions. So we'll see where we're at after Captain's Run tonight.
Barrow, Sunday.
Yeah.
The motivation's there. I mean, just look at what they did against Bradford at the weekend. They are a tough team, Cookie, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Last time we played against them, we had some adversity with Darrell missing after a couple of minutes with Bailey O'Connor as well. So last we've seen Bailey up until he gets back fit. So they're playing really well, and they're a difficult team to play against. And they're really difficult up there in Cumbria, but they're also difficult when they come away from home. They're a gritty team, very well coached. Really well coached by Paul. So looking forward to catching up with him again and pitting our wits against each other and our staff. And we're looking forward to the game at the weekend. We know it's going to be a tough one. We're under no illusions, and we need a response from last week because I didn't feel that we was very good in the game physically.
That was going to be my next question, just sort of without reflecting too much on last week, because we're looking ahead. After the game, you said you couldn't fault the players' effort.
Yeah.
Having done more reflection, what's your assessment after that one?
My assessment after that was that we let ourselves down in defensive effort. I felt that we was rolled too easily. We was physically beaten up a little bit. So whilst there was lots of effort and endeavour to stay in a game at 12-8, when we have some adversity, we're losing Connor and moving Connor Jones to the left centre and Glover to the left wing and rejigging players. Obviously, the change that was given back to us, well documented after last weekend. So we had lots of little things go against us, but that doesn't excuse the effort in, for argument's sake, the very first set of the game where we thought was way off.
Just back onto the squad, obviously, King missed out last week. He was named in the squad but didn't make it on match day. He's in the 21 again this week. Is he good to go on Sunday? Yeah,
he's fit. He's fit and ready to play. So, King comes back into the team. King will go back into the team. I felt he was playing really well before he got, he had a knock last weekend. He stood on, I think it was Claire Webb's foot on the Tuesday night and obviously rolled his ankle, which is indicative of a little bit of our luck at the minute in terms of players that miss out. They're missing for 1 or 2 weeks, which is helpful. They're not missing for 5 and 6 like we've had in the past. So hopefully we get plenty of players back in the not too distant future, and we have to make some serious decisions on who we play and who we leave out.
And that is what you want as a coach, isn't it? Having to make those decisions. We see Robson Stevens is back in the mix as well. Yeah. He's getting close. So start to get players back, more headaches, but that's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, we want to be able to make a decision on players based on, do we feel they need a break or can we give them a break? Because lots of our players have played lots of minutes because we've had so many injuries throughout the early part of the season. So when we get players back on the field, it becomes horses for courses in terms of teams that we're playing. I've said this previously on here. So, Robson's back in the mix this weekend. Everybody else that's in the squad is available to play in terms of whether we pick them or not. So we hope that we get everybody back fit shortly and we're able to make some headache decisions which leave people disappointed and chomping at the bit to come back the following week.
Spoken about Barrow being a tough team. I think there's no hiding away from the fact that Sunday's a big game, isn't it, Paul, in terms of our league season? Yeah,
we've had a few of these over the last month, Connor, where we've said it's must win, not must win, but it's important that we do win. The Halifax game particularly, where we're 3 points behind them and we go 5 points behind them if we lose. We go 1 point behind them if we win. So, we're within touching distance of the playoff places and getting into the top 6. So we need to remain so this weekend. It's a big game, but it's also a big game for the opposition. So what we can't afford to do is turn up and not turn up with the best version of ourselves. Because if Barrow do, then we'll be beaten. It's as simple as that, and the players are aware of that. We've told them that. So they're going to have to be good with their performance. And if we are, then we take some beating ourselves. We're not a bad team, no question about that. The players are very, very competent and their abilities, probably their ability they're underestimating a little bit in my eyes, and we want to give them the confidence to go out there and play, and we want to give them the confidence to go out there and play well. So we're off the back of a defeat, we're off the back of a poor performance in our eyes, and we need some improvement, particularly in the defensive area.